Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of my little Star Wars battle series. Today I will be analyzing Kit Fisto and Plo Koon and seeing which would win in a one-on-one duel. To start off, I'll give you basic info about them both. Plo Koon was part of a race known as the Keldor, and his homeworld was Doran. He was the Jedi that found Ahsoka Tano and brought her to the Jedi Temple. Plo Koon was trained by Vodka. That's not how you say it, sorry. There's no D. I just said vodka. And Bolter Swan. He has a good sense of right and wrong and is very pursuing injustice. He has a very witty attitude, and he fought on many of the battles, including many on Geonosis. Kit Fisto is part of the race known as the Nautolans, and his homeworld is Glee Anselm. He's a very laid-back Jedi, and pretty aquatic and has a very positive outlook on life. And in his times of the Jedi Order, he also had a relationship with Aayla Secura, which went beyond the boundaries of what was allowed. I think, in basic information, Plo Koon gets the edge. I'm just messing with you guys. That's not a category. Yeah, you get it. The joke's over. Next, we will talk about their Force abilities. Plo Koon was born into a family strong in the Force. He inherited these abilities and could use the Force easily without even looking at the object. He also mastered the ability of Anya Seth, which is completely clearing your mind, so his body and brain activity couldn't even be sensed. He was also a master at altering the environment to his standards, often bringing in mists, changing temperatures of the environment. He could also slightly change the terrain, basically the biome. It was very skilled. He also used a forbidden ability known as Electric Judgment, which is basically the same thing as, Lightning Force, but it's yellow instead of blue and white. Kit Fisto was also skilled in the Force. He was very skilled in the use of Force speed, and he developed his own ability. It primarily only works in water, and he could alter the water to make a water force orb, which is basically a blast of force and a blast of water. Really, anyone could think of this, but, good for him, I guess. Well, after analyzing all this, Kit Fisto is a pretty powerful Jedi in the Force, but everything Plo Koon just trumps what he has. Against most Jedi, I'd say Kit Fisto would have the advantage, but seeing that Plo Koon is more qualified, I say Plo Koon gets the advantage in Force abilities. Now we will move on to their skills. Plo Koon was a very accomplished fighter pilot. They say he was third best, Luke Skywalker first, then Saesee Tiin, then him. He had an expert knowledge of physics, which partly had to do with his ability to alter the environment. He could also breathe in space for a short time, and I will do multiple scenarios on the location of where the two are fighting this time, because it kind of matters for these guys. And he had a very good sense of right and wrong. That will have nothing to do with this fight because someone injected them with evil, so they're gonna freaking go no morals here. Kit Fisto also had some unique skills. He could breathe underwater and, like Plo Koon, had quick thinking, but he also had quick reflexes. Both of these guys' skills are very useful in a one-on-one duel. Not all of them. The fighter pilot for Plo isn't really that useful. So this one's a tough one to call. I give it a draw because they're both practical in different scenarios. And I will do both the scenarios where their abilities are practical, and we'll see who wins. Okay, now let's talk about their weapons and their armor. Plo Koon is almost always seen wearing his mask over his face, primarily because there's too much oxygen in most of the planets in which he has to go to for Jedi business. It's an anti-ox mask, and if you haven't guessed by now, it reduces oxygen in the air. His race doesn't require as much oxygen, so that's why he can breathe in space for a short time. Plo Koon wields a yellow saber and has also been seen to have a blue basic saber. Beside that, there's nothing really to it. He has been seen a few times wearing a bit of clone armor, but that's really for avoiding a blaster bullet. Kit Fisto wields a green saber the traditional color of the Jedi consulars. He has two crystals in his saber, which there's some ionic word that I forgot, like subionic, blobbity bloop, and which is why his saber can be used underwater. Kit Fisto also sometimes wore little clone wrist things, but as I stated, that really has no effect. He also has knowledge of how to use dual blades and light whips. I might do scenarios where that happens, but who knows. This one's kind of tough to call, but I'd say Kit Fisto really has the edge here. Just the fact that he has knowledge, a greater knowledge than Plo Koon with dual blades and a light whip, and his saber works underwater. I guess he gets the advantage. The mask for breathing, that's nice, but that's just really so he can live on, planets other than his homeworld. And finally, the martial arts. So, Plo Koon is a master in Form 5 Xian. He also has knowledge and has trained in Form 4 Ataru. People also say he was as good as flyer as a swordsman. He's very good in single saber combat against other people, because he could fend off Ventress with a broken arm. Darth Maul has also said he was one of the most powerful Jedi of the time, although he never had the chance to face him. Kit Fisto is a master in Form 1 Shicho. He also has limited knowledge of Ataru. And as stated before, he can use dual blades and light whips in his combat for both Shicho and Ataru. He was able to hold off Grievous, but there is a flaw in Form 1. It is pretty weak against a single Jedi, so considering Plo Koon is very good with one saber and is just a singular Jedi, he might have a bit of troubles. For me, it's not really hard to call who gets the martial arts edge. Kit Fisto, considering this is a one-on-one duel and he is a Shi-Cho user, he's gonna be in a bit of trouble unless Plo Koon decides to go all General Grievous on him, but I doubt that's going to happen. So, without it needing to be said, Plo Koon gets the martial arts edge. And now, for the verdict. Both of these are highly respected and very powerful Jedi. Both of these Jedi are in very high position in Council and have fought with some of the most powerful Jedi alongside them, but one of them has strengths that kind of attack the other's weaknesses. I don't think it needs to be said that Plo Koon would definitely beat Kit Fisto in a one-on-one duel. Here's how it may play out. In one scenario, say they're fighting on a big, massive Republic ship. I don't care, as long as it's a big ship that there's a lot of room for. The fight will go on for quite some time. They'll be using all their skills and such, and it will be rather evened out for a bit. And I guess Plo Koon would just get really sick of Kit Fisto, and maybe he'd cut a hole in the wall and suck them out into space. And after that, it's just a waiting game for Plo Koon. So, that's kind of cowardly way Plo Koon could win. Another scenario is, say they're at a swampy, marshy place. Plo Koon, would start off by going and changing the environment, misting it up. Maybe not realizing Kit Fisto doesn't really have trouble seeing in fog. And eventually Kit Fisto would lead Plo Koon into the water. Kit Fisto would be attacking from under the water. Plo Koon would be wildly thrashing down at the water. And, this could go either one of two ways. Maybe Kit Fisto gets to put in his force water orb and totally blows Plo Koon out of the water, literally, haha, and then slashes him down. Or Plo Koon could just force lightning judgment, the water, and turn him into a nice Japanese dessert. Another way this could go down is Kit Fisto, say they're on, just the Jedi Temple, and he has all the weapons he could use. Kit Fisto could probably pull out a light whip and another saber, because he does have knowledge of using both. Plo Koon doesn't really have a lot of experience with fighting against that, and if he tried to force lightning at Kit Fisto, he could just absorb it with the other one while using the lightning whip to slash down on Plo Koon. So, in that case, Kit Fisto would be the winner. So, I'd say, like 8 out of time, no, maybe 7 out of 10 times Plo Koon would win, and Kit Fisto 3 out of 10. But overall, I just say the odds aren't really in Kit Fisto's favor, even though he is a very powerful Jedi. Thank you for watching. Comment what you want to see next. Like this video, subscribe, and rage in the comments about how my opinion is wrong. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next episode.